Hey guys, this is day 7, Simple Solutions, your call to the post, and we are looking at lesson 48, completing problems 1 through 5. So you should have already attempted to do those on your own, and now we're going to go over them together, just like we normally would do at school. So let's look at the first question. It says, use the distributive property to write an equivalent expression for 27x plus 36. First, find the greatest common factor, write it outside the grouping symbols, then write the add-ins inside the grouping symbols. So to find the greatest common factor, we can do our factor rainbows. So for 27, 1 times 27. Does 2 times anything equal 27? No. What about 3? 3 times 9. And I think those are our only factors for 27. And then our factor rainbow for 36, 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and then 6 times 6. So those are all the factors of 36. And if we look at our greatest common factor, it looks like it would be 9 for our greatest common factor. So we're going to put 9 on the outside of our grouping symbols. And then we just say 9 times what will get me 27x? Well, 9 times what is 27? 3. So then we just put our x there, 3x. Sorry, my camera keeps focusing in and out, guys. I don't know. Every time I move underneath it, it does that. And then 9 times what would get me to 36? And that would be 9 times 4. So that is how you would write 27x plus 36 using the distributive property. Number 2 says, choose the names of 3 measures of center. So we worked on those back around Christmas time, the measures of center and variation. And the ones that help us find the center of our data would be the mean, the median, and the mode. All right, and then for number 3, you had to compare dot plot D with dot plot F. In which set are the data points closer, and how do you know? So I'm going to slide dot plot D under here. You have a copy of this with you. There's dot plot D. So look at your data points. And then dot plot F, which is right here. Your data points. So if we're comparing them and which have data points that are closer, we can see that in dot plot F there are lots of gaps here and the data is spread out. But in dot plot D, they're all pretty close to the number 2 and there aren't any gaps. So we would have to say that dot plot D is definitely closer. And how do we know? Because there are no gaps in the data. Okay, number 4. How many fourths of a gallon are in 3/4 of a gallon? Write an equation and give the quotient. So what do we have? We have 3/4 of a gallon. And how are we dividing it up? Into 1/4. And if we write that as an equation, we're just saying that this is our x. We're trying to figure out how many fourths are in 3/4, which most of you could just look at that and tell me. But we're going to just skip, flip, follow our little procedure for dividing fractions. You get the reciprocal. So this one stays the same. Skip it, flip, get the reciprocal of this fraction, multiply, and then reduce if we need to. So I can work smarter rather than harder right here, and I can cross simplify my 4s. Change those to 1s. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. So 3 over 1 is the same as 3. So there are 3/4 gallon, 3/4 and 3/4 of gallon. It's kind of hard to say. Okay, and then our last problem, which expression has a value of 86? So 3 to the 4th plus 5. 3 to the 4th is really 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 plus 5. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 times 3 plus 5. 27 times 3 plus 5. And 27 times 3 equals 81. And if we add that to 5, that's 86. So A is definitely has a value of 86. If we look at 8 to the 5th, we won't do that problem completely, but 64 times 8 times 8 times 8, you know that that number is going to be way too large to equal 86. So A is the correct expression to equal 86. And that's it for our call to the post for NTI Day 7. I will talk to you guys later.